what are some features or pages you often see on author websites that kind of aren't necessary and are basically just writers making work for themselves and potentially avoiding finishing the book?
Yeah, one of the things that I actually, it's the biggest one. It's sliders. Sliders, they were popular at one point, but they have become less popular. And people still use it because they were like, "Oh, these are really great. You can get, 7 images." But the way that we use and access websites has changed. With Facebook, with Instagram, it's scrolling. Nobody's going to sit there and watch the slider go through 7 images. And I work with a lot of authors. They're like, "I really want a slider," and I'm like, "No, you don't." It's dated, it's old, it's not something that's done anymore. And most people will be accessing websites on their phones. So they're going to be scrolling through like they do on Facebook or Instagram and other social media sites like that, not sitting there watching your slider go by. So they may see the first two, but they're missing slide 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And, like I said, it was a really good thing at one time, but that time has come and that time has gone.
Yeah,
So
I've been sitting here laughing because at one of my old jobs we had this slider on the website and it was literally surrounded by content. It wasn't even a big slider, it was a little one, and then there was like auto news feed here and some social media and some other bits. And everyone was obsessed with this slider. And I'm like, it is not 2005. Can we please like get rid of this really busy homepage? And they never did. They didn't understand the psychology of why it was exhausting for the audience and potentially just watering down the message. And I think that's the really important thing to say. Like you say, people are scrolling, but also the more you put on that homepage, the more you're watering down what you actually want them to do, which should be find out more about you or read your latest book. That should be
yeah,
it.
yeah. And there's something that it plays into what we were just talking about there. Is it's called above the fold. And you think above the fold because newspapers put all the important information above the fold. And so that's the mindset originally. You got to put all the important stuff above that cutoff point. But with mobile phones, there isn't that cutoff point. It goes down quite a ways. And so people, rather than trying to shove everything in the top, spread it out throughout your page. People are going to scroll down. It doesn't matter. You can go and sit on Facebook for an hour and just scroll. So people are used to that. So you don't have to just stuff everything in that slider and hope that people are seeing your information and what you're talking about. And I've had a few people, because I do websites on the side. It's not my main gig. But I've had a few authors be like, "No, I really want it." And I'd explain and be like, "Okay, I understand, but I really want it." I'm like, I mean, you're the client. There's not much I can do. So
Yeah.
I give it to them. And I'm like, just try and keep it, 3 or 4. Don't do 12 or 15 or anything like that crazy. So the slider is probably the biggest one that I've seen. The other one that I would say would be having too many drop-down menus, because was it 3 clicks is generally the limit that people can handle. I mean, before they start getting irritated. So if you have a drop-down menu that says, so here are my books on your main menu. Click it, it drops down. You have your individual books. Then you have series. You click the series. It shows all your series. Then you click the series name and it drops over and gives you all the books in that series. That's too many. People are just getting ridiculous. Like, they're like, what is going on? Why are there so many clicks? And you get irritated and you think about how you use in the internet. And if it would irritate you, it's going to irritate other people coming to your site.